You know you've been playing this game a little bit too much when you sit down to take a poop and all you can say is, stand by for Titanfall. You know what I'm saying? You just sit there, you relax, you take a squat, and...
Dropping now. Stand by for Titanfall.
Yeah, I apologize. It's one of those days, but at least we know why they have such a long intermission now. Am I right? Anyways, how are the pilots doing today? I kind of wanted to hit you guys with a cool little thing, and I want to teach you a little bit about the Stryder, which, in my opinion, is the best Titan in the game, especially if you know how to use it, and I have this really cool build I want to show you guys to equip. It started out as a troll build, and I morphed it into a very tactical, fun, easy to use, dangerous build, and I'll give you that right after we talk a little bit about what the Stryder has to offer. So today we are going to be reviewing the Stryder. Now the Stryder overall is the fastest, most mobile out of the three chassis, but again it's also the one with the lowest health, easiest to kill, coming in with a max health of 5,500. The lowest of the three significantly. The other ones scale up 2,500 apiece, with the Atlas coming in with 8,000 total health, and the Ogre with almost double at 10,500. So now that we've talked about basically its only weakness, let's talk about where this thing succeeds. The Stryder has a walk speed of 5.7 meters per second and a sprint speed of 8.3 meters per second, the fastest out of all of them, but not by much. Now here's where things get a little bit juicy with this thing. Now the Stryder has a melee damage of 1,125, and it comes in with a pushback of 850. Now why this is significant is because this is the only stat that kind of defeats what pattern, I guess. The Atlas is the well-rounded middle one. It's kind of got the best of both worlds. The Ogre's the tanky, slow one. The fast, weaker one is the Stryder. These are how the chassis work. And I think for defensive purposes, they tweaked this specific stat between the chassis to make it a little bit more understanding and I guess defensive for the Stryder. Now the Stryder has 1,125 damage, where the Atlas only has 1,000. It's the only thing that kind of breaks that pattern, and it also has 850 pushback. Now, if you do not know what that means, I'll give you the other ones. The other ones are sitting at about 510. So this one has about double the pushback. It's kind of like, you got cooties, get away from me. It's kind of just one of those protective things. So that's a bit of cool information for you guys to know this thing actually hits harder than the Atlas and kind of puts a big gap between you and the enemy Titan. And I actually use that to my advantage in my strategic build for this guy too. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but we're going to hop into the remaining stats. Now the Stryder excels in mobility, so of course it's going to have 3 dash charges available for it, and it's going to have a recharge rate of 3.3 seconds. That means you get a new dash recharged up every 3.3 seconds, and knowing that you have, in fact, 3 dashes, by the time you crank 3 of those out in one direction, your 4th one is probably ready to go. So this thing is very good at kiting, dodging, strafing, back and forth. And truth be told, it's probably its best asset, you know, float like a Stryder, sting like a Stryder. It's kind of what's happening. It's really awesome. It's got about a second recharge rate better than the other ones, meaning it charges up those dashes 1 second faster than the other one. So, you know, maybe just walk around for 10 seconds and booyah, you have 3 of your dashes back ready to use. So, now that we've talked a little bit about the entree, let's hop right into the dessert. Today we have the 40mm cannon with the extended mags equipped. To me, the most well-rounded weapon in the game. It does consistent damage, it's got a lot of ammo, and it's one of the few things that's also pretty sufficient in killing pilots, getting things out of windows, and killing multiple things. And, you know, unlike the triple threat or the rockets, they're much harder to counter and are valuable against pilots. Next up, we got the tactical ability, the electric smoke. It deploys a damaging smoke screen. It does a lot of damage, and it's a big cloud. It's pretty awesome. The rocket salvo, just because I like to get up close and personal and just explode on their faces, and take that any way you want it. Next up for the kit, we have nuclear ejection and the auto eject. I like the combination of the two because the Stryder, in fact, has a lot of health. You don't want to get caught inside of that, and with a limited time to get out of it, definitely something you want to do. Now, why this combination is important to me, I tried to create 2 different builds. My first build was the boxing build. That's right, Stryder. It's got the movement, the mobility, the dodges. What I wanted to do is I wanted to dodge in, punch him, kite him around, put up the cloud so he doesn't know where I am, and just demolish his face. And one thing that I'd learned to do that was pretty fun is because when you punch and it has that ridiculous knockback, is if you put up the cloud and you walk backwards, a great strategy is to walk backwards, he'll follow you, punch him back into the cloud, make him keep taking that damage over time. It's a brilliant strategy, and it's something I wanted to do. I tried to equip the level 41 skill called Big Punch that does more damage and farther knockback, but it was too slow, you didn't get enough out of it, wasn't worth using, so I combined it with a troll loadout that I made. What I wanted to do is basically just get up close and kind of make a detonation build. So that's what the nuclear is for, but I get the cloud. So what I do is I just generally get right up close next to people, start plowing into them, start doing damage, rocket salvo to drop down their shield, and just start demolishing the people, put up the cloud, and what happens is if I know I'm about to die and I need to detonate, I just dash right up next to the guy, eject out of it, and then it takes him with it. Unfortunately, you can't really dodge the nuclear thing. I mean, you have a little bit of time, but you only have what you have. So try this build. I promise you it'll be your new favorite build. I was one of those guys that only used the ogre because, you can't kill me. No. This build is ridiculous. I go on nasty streaks. There are many times I'll kill 5 or 10 titans in one life with a Stryder. Give it a go, guys. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to smack that like button. Leave a comment down below to tell me what titan you want to see tomorrow, and we will go ahead and review that. Thank you, guys. I'm about to go drop a titan, if you know what I mean.